Hi, I'm Louisa Sijabat, a liquidator and bankruptcy trustee. Did you know that in certain circumstances, the ATO can make a director of a company personally liable for some of that company's taxation and other liabilities? The liabilities that we're talking about relate to PAYG withholding, net GST, and superannuation contributions charge. In certain circumstances, the ATO can make the director personally liable without the director ever having signed a personal guarantee or anything of that nature to the ATO. The question that immediately follows is, what are those circumstances? So preferably directors can avoid being in that situation. Now, for PAYG withholding and net GST, if these amounts are not lodged with the ATO within 3 months of their due dates, and the ATO issues the director with something called a director penalty notice, DPN, then the only way that the director can get rid of the DPN or the penalty notice is to actually pay these amounts. Now, just say the company couldn't afford to pay these amounts, but they had been lodged, so this is PAYG withholding and net GST, the lodgements had been done within 3 months of the due dates of these amounts. Then if the ATO issues a director penalty notice, or DPN, to the director has more remedies available to him or her in order to get rid of the director penalty notice. These remedies include payment, but also include the ability to put the company into voluntary administration, liquidation, or appoint a small business restructuring practitioner, and any of those other actions also discharges the director from having this personal liability. Now that's a huge advantage because sometimes those amounts can be quite large, and if the option is to put the company into liquidation, voluntary administration, or appoint a small business restructuring practitioner, that is by far preferable to most directors than to find money that they already don't have to pay what is sometimes quite a substantial debt. There's a slight variation to this for superannuation guarantee charge. As you might be aware, if this is not remitted in time to the employee's superannuation funds, it then has to be remitted to the ATO together with any administrative fees and interest that the ATO might charge. So, with superannuation guarantee charge, this must be lodged by the due date in order for the director to have those additional remedies that we just talked about. If it's not lodged by the due date, then the only way a director can get rid of a director penalty notice relating to superannuation guarantee charge is to pay it. Now, if you do get a director penalty notice and some of those other options other than payment are available to you, you generally have to take one of those actions within 21 days of getting the notice. Which means if you ever get a notice called director penalty notice or DPN, please act on it immediately. Whether that's reaching out to somebody like myself or a lawyer, just absolutely please act on it to give yourself as many options as possible for dealing with it. Alternatively, the better proposition is to make sure you get those lodgements in on time for your company, even if your company can't afford to pay it, because that affords you more options down the track if the ATO try and pursue you personally.